To be your miss today. I'm Blessing Nekundayo, and I'm a doctor here in New Zealand. My specialty is in the area of mental health, and I'm also a wife to my wonderful, wonderful husband, and I've got 2 wonderful giants. I'm also a certified relationship coach, and I'm one of the wonderful daughters of Dr. Adesayo Adelowo. I call her my mommy, and I'm so delighted to be given this opportunity to speak today. I want to say congratulations, mommy and daddy. Yes, so because beside every successful woman is a very, very supportive, wonderful husband. So I want to acknowledge you also, daddy. I want to say that, mommy, you are a really great inspiration to all of us women. And even at over 50, mommy is still bringing out books. She's still publishing books. She's not tired. So well done, mommy. We are so, so proud of you. And Fragrance of Influence is 5 years today. And like mommy said, she started, with COVID and everything. And I just want to say to anyone listening today to me, I don't know what God has spoken to you about. That idea that you are wanting to birth, that wonderful course that you have an idea to study, whatever it is, and you are waiting for the perfect time. There might be no perfect time. It's just important for you to start. You may be fearful and be so afraid, but start afraid, because it's only whatever you birth that actually grows. And today, if mommy never stepped out, leap of faith to start Fragrance of Influence, we would not be here today to celebrate 5 years. So I hope that we are inspired by mommy's achievement today. Today, she's asked me to speak on the topic, beauty and body image, and its impact on mental health. And I want to start with my own story. I grew up in Nigeria, and so if we could just ask the kids to please be quiet, that would be really, really helpful, so we can all hear ourselves. I grew up in Nigeria, and the first decade of my life was good. I didn't think there was anything wrong with my body image. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I thought I was okay, until I got into high school. And I started to think a certain kind of way about how I looked. And that was because people started to call me black. I grew up in Nigeria, so we're all black anyway. But I then realized that there are different levels of blackness or darkness. My dark skin tone, people who were dark skinned actually thought I was very, very dark. And so I got all sorts of names like, Blackie, and people will call me things like Dudu. Dudu in Yoruba, it means black in English, I got all sorts of names, Dudu this, Dudu that, Dudu Yemi, Dudu by nature, Blackie, people even called Mama Dudu, Iya Dudu, which basically means, black woman. And as much as they were having fun calling me these names, I wasn't finding it funny at all. It just made me to realize that these voices were telling me that being black or being dark-skinned in complexion meant that you were not so beautiful. I heard voices that told me that light-skinned girls or bright, fair-skinned girls were the ones that were so beautiful. They're the ones that were attractive, and guys would be attracted to girls who were fair or light-skinned in complexion. So I didn't feel good about my dark skin, and I had a negative body image about myself. And if you're wondering what body image is, it basically means a person's personal, emotional beliefs, attitudes, and your perceptions of your own body, And I began to feel a lot of negativity towards my own body at that time. And as if being dark, very, very dark, was not enough, I was now very skinny also. And when my classmates, my friends were going through puberty and were developing all these really nice curves, I was straight like pencil. It was not good at all. And I got called names like skinny, and I was also told, and I heard other voices telling me that, guys, again, are attracted to girls who were curvy, and I thought, okay, since I'm not curvy, I'm very black, I'm not beautiful, means I'll never have a guy to call my own. I thought I was not going to have a boyfriend or not going to be in a relationship. And what did that do to me? That caused me a lot of psychological distress. I began to worry so much, and I began to seek validation in people telling me that I was beautiful. I began to try to move with the girls that were beautiful, that people considered beautiful, so that I would be become accepted, by them. And unfortunately, those girls were not very serious with their studies. So me too, I was not serious with my studies, and my grades started to drop. And at the point, I was almost at the bottom of the class. And why have I shared my story? I'll continue later. I've shared my story because the world, the society that we live in, puts a lot of pressure on us to meet certain unrealistic standards of beauty. We feel like we have to dress a certain way, look a certain way to actually look beautiful. And social media does not help at all. You're on social media, you want to post a picture, you first of all have to do all the editing, and some people do all the Photoshop, so you can get all the likes and comments and things like that. And now we are in a world of, artificial intelligence, AI, where people have like a perfect picture, and people start commenting and saying really nice things about you because you now look beautiful, and TV adverts don't help. They sell all sorts of products that make you feel like if you don't buy this product, you are not beautiful. Magazines don't help either. You see all these women, perfect models that they've edited their photos, and it just goes on. And men are not left out also. These days, I was on the internet recently and I saw a man, they now sell body shapers for men. I was like, wow. Men, so I can have like 6-pack. I was like, what is going on? The world we're living in is just endless. And trying to meet that standard is very exhausting. Statistics actually show that so many people have a lot of negativity about their body image. And there was one statistics research that was done in Brown's University in the United States. And it said that whenever they found out that about 50% of women reported that once after they look at women's magazine, these magazines that have wonderful, wonderful things in them, many of them feel a lot of negativity, negative influence about the perception of their own body. And also another study in that same university said that about 75% of women are actually constantly thinking about their body weight all through the day. That is serious. And men are not left out also. About 50% of men are constantly thinking about their body weight all through the day. So that is serious. So some of us here are actually constantly thinking about our body weight, our body size, our body everything all through the day. And that's very, very, very worrisome. All of these things, they put a lot of pressure on us and impact us in negative ways, different aspects of our lives, especially our mental health. We don't talk so much about our mental health, but some people, because they begin to perceive themselves as not good enough, I don't look good enough, what is this person going to say about how I look? They're falling into depression. They begin to think negative things and believe negative things about themselves. They feel like they do not look good enough. And some of us don't help with our words. We're all looking good today, covered with nice makeup, nice dresses, nice outfits. But there's a lot some of us are going through behind closed doors. For example, I want to ask you all a question. Say, for example, 5 years ago, you were like 50 kilograms, right? You weighed 50 kilograms. So imagine what 50 kilograms is. You are quite slim and small and all of that. And then somebody is seeing you 5 years later today, and you are 100 kilograms. Now, I want to ask you a question, and some of you might have been in those shoes, After they see you and say, hey, how are you doing? What is that one sentence that they would likely say, especially if they're African? You have become very fat. You have gained weight. You have put on weight. What else are they going to say? Yeah, Patty. Exactly. You're so big. You have become horrible. Some people will be that explicit. Basically, what they are saying is you have become so fat. And they think it is a good thing to say. What you don't realize when you say those things is that some people, they put on weight not because they want to put on weight. Some people, it's because of some medical conditions they are going through that makes them to put on weight. They are already feeling so bad that I've gained so much weight. And then you see them and you are now rubbing it in. How do you think they're going to feel? Exactly, they're going to feel bad. Some people, they are taking medications for whatever they are treating. And those medications, one of the side effects is that they gain weight, right? So they would gain weight. So it's important for us to be kind with our words when we see people. Some people, it's the other way around. They lose weight. They're losing weight, but it's not because they want to lose weight. It's because of what they are going through. Other people, their hairs are falling off, alopecia, and you make fun of them. So my point is, let's be kind with our words. Let's not talk to people and, make fun of their body, thinking we are, just having fun. You don't want people to leave your presence, then go ahead and go and weep or cry some way and sink into further depression as a result of what you have said to them. All right. And if you see someone and you want to compliment them, say they're looking good. If you don't think they're looking good, you know what to do. Yeah, so depression is one of the negative impacts that this body image and all of those things, beauty and the impact of the society puts on our mental health. The other thing is anxiety. People struggle with anxiety. They begin to wonder and worry a lot. What should I do? How should I do this? And how should I dress? What will people say about me? And they begin to overanalyze, overthink, and at the end of the day, they end up not even doing anything at all. So they can't actually maximize their potentials as a result of that. Another thing is substance use. People, because of, they've tried to find ways to cope with this stress, this psychological distress that they're experiencing. And then they get into maladaptive coping mechanisms and they go into drugs, cigarette smoking, vaping, all sorts of vices just to make them feel a bit better. And we all know that these things actually make you feel better. They make you feel worse in the long run. I can go on and on. Eating disorders is another thing again, because of the stress that people put on you to try to look slimmer or a certain way. Some people will go to the extent of going through excessive gymming, excessive exercises, starving themselves of food, and they will still believe that they are fat, even when the doctor is telling them, you are about to die, like you are losing so much weight. They still believe, no, I'm fat. And then the other way around also, some people, they eat so much, but at the end of the day, they try to find ways to still lose this weight, but they cannot help themselves. They cannot help that urge to eat. And, another statistic said that about 2% of all teenagers would actually experience an eating disorder, and I pray that will not be our portion in Jesus' name. But why have I shared this? What exactly is beauty? I looked at the dictionary meaning, and this is from Merriam-Webster dictionary. It said, beauty is the quality or group of qualities in a person or thing that gives pleasure to the senses or the mind. To me, this means that beauty is very subjective, highly subjective. So it's whatever tickles a person's fancy. Oh, yeah, that looks beautiful. And somebody else will be like, that's not beautiful. That's why they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So my point is, why stress yourself? Why stress yourself to try to wait for other people's validation that this is beautiful? Because somebody else can tell you are beautiful, and somebody else says you're not beautiful. Exactly, which one do you believe? So I'll go back to my story. How did I overcome this negative body image of myself? For me, it was an encounter I had with my Creator. And I want to tell you something. There is nobody that can tell you who you are or what you look like than the person who created you. Nobody can tell us how great these products are than Mommy herself, the author of the products, the author of the books. My point is, when I discovered what God said about me when He was creating me, I realized that He delicately crafted me. He took His time, and then He said that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He said I am the apple of His eyes. He said I am a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. I don't care what anybody says or thinks about me. You guys came too late. I began to feel so confident in myself. I would walk with my head held up so high. I was so confident. I began to actually love myself. I began to accept myself. I accepted my doo-doo, like my black skin, and I loved myself so much because I realized that beauty actually comes from the inside, not from the outside. It's the inner glow that glows to the outside for people to see. And I just want to say something today. If you are here and you're yet to discover or encounter God, I want to encourage you to encounter God, because He's the only one that can help you discover your true beauty. The other thing I would like to say is, if you're struggling with your sort of negative body image, positive affirmations help. Write beautiful things to yourself about yourself and go into face the mirror in the morning, at night, and say those things to yourself. Psychologists have said that you counteract negative thoughts with positive words. Not with positive thoughts, positive words. You've got to speak it. When you speak it, you begin to believe it. And then when you begin to believe it, your thoughts will then change. So it's important that you begin to speak those positive words. What does God's word say about you? It really, really helps. And if you're struggling with, your mental health in whatever area, I would encourage you, please seek professional help. See a counselor, see a psychologist, see a therapist, see a psychiatrist, whatever helps. Get help, because it's very important. And at the same time, if, God forbid, but if as you feel at any point in time, you have thoughts of wanting to end your life, send help to 1737 if you are in New Zealand, because we are all in New Zealand here. Or call 111 if you know somebody who is having those terrible thoughts. Please help with 111. I'd like to conclude by saying this. My time is already up. If just 3 things I want you to get away from today. Number 1, true beauty is who your Creator says you are. It's not what anybody says you are. It is who God says that you are. And number 2, true beauty stems from your core values. What are your core values? What do you stand for? If you don't stand for anything, you're going to fall for everything. And the last thing is that true beauty stems from loving and accepting yourself. Accept yourself for your imperfections, your scars, your weaknesses, your strengths, and all of those things encompass your beauty. And I hope that you have gained something from today's keynote. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing such insightful words.